Stop for a second and think about the last time you looked in a mirror. What did you really see? Was it your face or was it your fear, your judgment, your story about yourself staring right back at you? That glass in front of you is not just glass. It's one of the strongest psychological tools we interact with every single day, and almost nobody questions it. Today, I am talking about the magic mirror, your reflection, your self image, and the subconscious game your mind plays with both every time you look at yourself. Here's something most important people don't realize. The mirror does not just show your face, it activates your self concept. Psychologists call the self awareness theory. The moment you see your reflection, your brain doesn't process it neutrally. It instantly compares what it sees to an internal image it has already built, an image shaped by years of comments, comparisons, old photos, social media, and other people's opinion of you. This is why two people can look at the same reflection and feel completely different things. One person sees confidence, another sees flaws they have been taught to fixate on. The mirror hasn't changed, the subconscious filter behind the eyes has. There's also something called the mirror stage, a concept developed by psychologist Jacques Lacan. He proposed that somewhere around 18 months of the age, a child looks into a mirror and for the first time recognizes themselves as a separate being, not just a collection of sensations, but a whole person with an identity. From that moment on, the mirror becomes tied to something much bigger than reflection. It becomes tied to identity itself. That is why mirrors can feel emotionally loaded even as adults. Standing in front of one isn't really about vanity, it's your subconscious checking in with your sense of self. Am I still who I think I am? Do I still look the way I feel inside? That gap between how we feel internally and what we see reflected back in is where so much of our self image struggle actually lives. Now, let's bring in astrology because the mirror has deep symbolic roots here too. In astrology, the planet most connected to mirrors, beauty, and self image is Venus. Venus rules how we see ourselves and how we want to be seen by others. When Venus is strong or challenged in someone's birth chart, it often shows up as either deep self confidence or a constant, quiet battle with self worth. A person who is always subtly checking, comparing, adjusting. The seventh house also plays a role here. This is fascinating. It's traditionally called the house of others or the house of mirrors. This house shows up how we see ourselves reflected through other people. Relationships in this view act like mirrors. The people we have drawn to often reflect back parts of ourselves we haven't fully accepted yet, whether that's our strength or our insecurity. Then there is the moon, which represent our emotional and subconscious self. When the moon is heavily aspected or emotionally activated, self image can become especially sensitive. A person's sense of how they look or how they are perceived can shift depending on their mood, almost like the reflection itself feel different from day to day. And we can't talk about mirrors without mentioning the ancient myth of Narcissus. The young man who, captivated by his own reflection in a pool of water that he couldn't look away, eventually losing himself entirely in it. Psychologists still use this myth today to describe an unhealthy obsession with self image. But there's a quite a less discussed side of that same story. The opposite of narcissism is not the confident. It's often deep avoidance. Someone who can't look in the mirror at all is dealing with the same core wound, just turned inside out. So, what does all this actually mean for you? The mirror was never really about your face. It's about the story your subconscious mind has written about who you are. And every time you look into it, that story gets a chance to either be reinforced or gently rewritten. Next time you catch your reflection, try this. Instead of immediately scanning for flaws, pause and ask yourself, what am I actually feeling right now? Because more often than not, what you see in the mirror is really just what you feel about yourself in that moment, projected outward. The magic mirror isn't in some fairy tale, it's the one hanging in your bathroom, in your hallway, on the back of your phone screen. And every single day, it's quietly asking you one question. Do you know who is really looking back? If this made you see mirrors a little differently, let me know in the comments. And the next time you catch your reflection, be a little kinder to the person looking back at you. See you in the next story. Until then, take care of yourself and how you see yourself. Thank you.